Lately, I've been having this recurring dream. In it, I'm the used hubcap king, and one day while escalator surfing, I stumble upon the meaning of life. The knowledge makes me swoon. When I recover, I've completely forgotten the truth that had revealed itself momentarily, and I think there must be a lesson in there somewhere. But by then, the dream has turned on itself, and I am no longer the used hubcap king. Instead, I am a Nobel Prize-aspiring geneticist, pursuing a clue to the origin of mankind. And while solving for the last variable, I accidentally uncover the fact that Homo sapiens are mostly perceptual beings, anthropocentrically focused to the exclusion of universal consciousness, and a tendency to pedagoguery, and a definite proclivity for autoeroticism. You've got it.
Why do I have to waste
We're all
my
a bunch
time
of self-centered
outwitting
windbag
morons?
wankers. Well, most of us, anyway. But I suppose you already knew that. And without warning, I'm on the Italian Riviera. Imperia, to be precise. I saunter down palm-lined boulevards, the gentle Mediterranean breezes caressing my deeply tanned but shaved pate. My heavy gold jewelry sparkles in the afternoon sunshine. And from every cafe, patrons call out, "Stefano, come sta? Stefano, buongiorno. Stefano, quante prenate?" and such like. I catch a glimpse of myself in the shine of my patent leather Guccis, coming to the immediate realization that I must be a pimp. There's no other possible explanation. My journey is leading me up to a winding terrazzo staircase to a resplendent Rococo mansion whose sheer size is only exceeded by its vulgarity. It's for places like this that the word gaudy was invented. Peacocks strut and crow amid the formal gardens, while 100 marble cherubims relieve themselves in a dozen koi-infested pools. I make a mental note that this whorehouse business is worth looking into when I awake. In the meantime, I wander a maze of lavishly furnished rooms, arriving at a suite that is literally covered with gold leaf. I open the door to the bagnio, where to my utter amazement, I find the Finn reclining in a bubble bath. "Stefano," she calls out. "Vorrei presentarla a Medico Phil." And from out of the suds pops none other than Dr. Phil from the Oprah Winfrey Show. They want to engage me in a discussion about my deepest feelings on love, relationships, and angst, and commence to discourse in a type of psychobabble that is absolutely devoid of any coherent thought process, let alone intelligible sentences. Plus, they're speaking in Italian. At this juncture, I decide to exit the dream and wake up to a big British fry-up. Eggs, bacon, sausage, tomato, mushrooms, ham, and the topper, fried bread, washed down with lashings of sweet tea. But hold the phone. This is still the dream. And as I finish mopping up the plate with the last morsel of fried bread, I look up to discover that I'm in the middle of the North Saskatchewan River Wilderness on a camping canoe trip with Verzi, Hull, Horton, and assorted other buddies. The primary difference is that the actual river looks about 5 times as wide and is flowing with the velocity of Niagara Falls. "Okay, boys, let's get her done," intones Tim as he surveys the roiling water. "Only 100 miles of hard paddling till our next stopover." The thundering of my heart matches the roar of the distant rapids, but I'm too stupefied to object. Then Verzi, my bowman, tells me he's kind of tired and not to expect too much power from the front end today. Oh, great. The king of the lily dippers on a good day is deciding to jam out before the journey has even begun. We enter the current and are immediately swept downstream amid 6-foot standing waves and nasty, jagged rocks which dwarf us as we pass. The canoe is bucking like a Brahma bull with a burr up its ass, and we're taking on more water than a submarine with a screen door. Despite this nautical pandemonium, Verzi has stopped paddling altogether. He's fallen asleep, reclining against the roped-in cargo. Up ahead, I see the vaporous clouds of a massive maelstrom. The roar from the chasm is deafening. "Mike, hard right," I scream. "Make for the starboard shore," which I realize, as I say it, has transformed into sheer cliffs of unassailable granite. "I can't do this by myself, buddy. Dig in." With a leisurely turn of his head, Verzi looks at me and says, "Relax, Steve. You have a tendency to take things too seriously. Everything is a challenge, a competition. This is supposed to be therapeutic. Why don't you focus on tonight's dinner? Penne alla puttanesca. It's molto benissimo." And with that, he pushes the peak of his cap down over his eyes and sinks into a deep and sonorous sleep. You gotta envy this guy. He is the epitome of equanimity. I believe that in dream interpretation, water is supposed to represent a challenge or an obstacle one must overcome. It's something I've dreamt about all my life, confronting and ultimately crossing big water. Some of my earliest memories are of the Mersey River in Manchester and the Mains Creek Diversion Channel in Brampton, which flowed muddy red in spring and claimed the lives of a number of children I knew growing up. So taking Verzi's advice, I ease up a little and try to go with the flow, so to speak. Of course, we're tossed out of the canoe and flung over the falls, descending to certain death on the rocks below, when the phone in the kitchen rings, waking me for good. I leap out of bed, collecting the receiver by the third ring. It's Verzi, inviting me out for an early squash game and later coffee with the boys. Did he know in the dream that the impending phone call from his waking doppelganger would save us? Or was it just a coincidence? Life is truly enigmatic, and the people we encounter, wondrous beings that help guide us on the journey. To all those who have assisted me on mine, may your dreams be dewy, your bubblegum chewy, your problems fewy and far between.